Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Revolution Mindset Session 2, where we're going to be looking at mind hacking our goals. If you're tuned in, please say hi. Let me know that you are here. And the first question that I want us to think about is we are now 10 days into the new year, 10 days into January. What goals have you achieved so far? So, between our planning session back in December to where we are now, what goals have you achieved this year? Let me know. Adele is tuned in. Adele, thank you so much for being here. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for being back. Let me know what goals you've achieved so far. I'm just checking this is posting through into Facebook. And it's there. Excellent. So what have you achieved so far this year? Lorena, thank you so much for being here. It's wonderful to see you. If you did miss the first couple of sessions, don't worry. We're learning something new in every session. We do a live session for kind of 10 to 10 minutes to half an hour, learning something new, and then we go into a workshop where we actually put it into practice. Adrian, it's wonderful to see you back. Thank you so much for being here. Adele, Adrian, Brenda-Lise, Priya, and everybody else who turned up last week. Really great workshop where we dive deep into our resolutions. So when you were thinking about goals, what have we achieved so far? It can be something big, it can be something small. What is it that we've achieved in our first week in January? We need to celebrate these small wins. So please share the wins that you've had over the first 10 days of this new year. I would love to hear from you. I posted a few of mine, Coaching Minds, we've already hit over 500 members in the first week of January 2023 in our hub, which is absolutely fantastic. We've had our Kickstart conference, which was 2 days of pure wisdom and really great tips from our coaches. We've had World Introvert Day, we've had International Mind Body Wellness Day, all within 10 days. So we've really set the standard high. We've set the pace quite quick for ourselves this year, Coaching Minds. But I want to hear what you have achieved so far. What have been your small wins between the 1st of January and the 10th of January? Have you got back to the gym? Have you been to the gym a couple of times? Have you picked up and started to write some books? Have you got more business, more clients? Have you started to go back? So Adrian he said here that I finished my bookkeeping from last year yesterday. That's excellent. That is a win for the week. Let's celebrate that. I'm going to hit the confetti button here so we can celebrate. Let's celebrate that win. There we go. What else? What have we achieved this year so far? In just 10 days, what have we achieved? Small wins. It doesn't have to be anything grand. Let me know. Have you held a session? So any of our coaches that are tuned in, those who held sessions at our coaching events, they're small wins for you. What have you achieved so far? Because today's session, we are going to be looking at revolution mindset, mind hacking our goals. And if you're new to this session, what we mean by revolution here is that internal revolution where we take back control, we take back the power of our lives. So Priya has said, getting back to my reading, yoga, meditation, invest in my personal growth. It's absolutely wonderful that you've got those wins and you're back in. Let's celebrate that as well. I'm going to hit the confetti button and we're going to start celebrating these wins. Anybody else want to share something here? Adrian has started running. That's fantastic. Adele has also said that she caught up on outstanding tasks and closed loops from last year. That's absolutely wonderful. Let's celebrate that as well. So lots of great achievements, lots of good energy coming through. If you're tuning in, celebrate. Tell me what it is you've achieved in the first 10 days. We are a third of the way through our first month of 2023. Are we on the right pace? Are we on the right track? Adele's saying she's more structured, but still flexible. That's absolutely wonderful. So what are we going to be looking at in today's session? So in today's session, we're going to be looking at why we should set goals. Now, you'll be surprised to know that many of us don't actually set goals. We just tick over, we do our day-to-day routines, and we don't try and better ourselves. So we're going to talk about why we should set goals. We're going to be looking at making our goals smarter. Now, we've all heard of the SMART framework. If a lot of coaches, or if anybody's tuned in here, you've heard of the SMART framework. I'm going to explain to you why that is limited. And we're going to go into a bit more detail on how we can make that smarter. And then finally, we're going to talk about how we are going to mind hack our goals. And this is what we're going to carry into the Putting It Into Practice workshop that is in 25 minutes straight after this session. So let's see if we've got any more wins before we move on. So Lorena has said, my small win is that I practice in my discipline by going out for a walk every day, even when I don't want, I am feeling good. That is absolutely fantastic. Let's celebrate that, Lorena. And you make a really good point. When we have goals, when we have habits, we need to push ourselves. We need to turn up for ourselves, even when we don't want to. So why should we set goals? So I'm asking that question to you guys, so we can start to pop in some comments in the feedback in the engagement, so I can bring it into the session, so we're avoiding the lag on the comments. So what is it? Why should we achieve goals? And whilst you're typing away, I just want to remind you of our key lesson from the last session. Our key lesson from session 1, where we looked at revolution statements, was to turn our resolution into a revolution. And we looked at how we can make our resolution active, how we can make it intentional, and how we can make it meaningful in order to commit ourselves more to that resolution. So turn our resolution into a revolution is what we looked at last week. This week we are looking at goals, and as I just asked you guys, why should we set goals? What's your views? Why should you set goals? Adrian has said he's also started writing again. That's fantastic, Adrian. We're going to celebrate that as well. I'm going to hit the confetti. Let's celebrate these wins, because this is what keeps us going. This is the momentum towards achieving our goals. So why should we set goals? What's our thoughts? There's many different reasons of why we should set goals. So whilst I'm waiting for your guys' thoughts, your wisdom, your feedback on why you set goals, I'm going to share a few of my own. So the first one is, it gives us a direction. It allows us to make some form of progress in our life and gives us something to aim for. Goals also give us a sense of accomplishment. Now, who here plays video games, or plays games on their apps, or is involved in some kind of gamification across whatever they get themselves involved with? So Adrian is saying to keep us focused. Goals keep us focused. That's 100% right. That's another reason why we should set goals. But anybody who plays video games, anybody who's addicted to playing games on their phone, their app, what is it that makes it addictive? It's this sense and this feeling of accomplishment. And in these video games, in these apps, there are goals. Whether we call them goals, whether we highlight them goals, it doesn't matter. There are goals in there. Whether we want to get to that next level, whether we want to unlock that next reward, whether we want to get to that next badge, or complete that next mission, or aim to do this many sort of things in that game, it is the sense of accomplishment that helps us start to get those good feelings and what makes it addictive. Adele is saying rewards. Rewards is very important. Why we set goals is because goals give us rewards, and then rewards make us feel good. And as Adrian says, it also filters down to our purpose. We also feel purposeful when we set goals. And the final thing here is to learn and grow. Goals help us learn and grow. If we set ourselves out to achieve something, we don't hit it. If we hit it, we learn, grow. If we don't hit it, we still can learn from the mistakes, from the shortfalls, from any failure that we encounter. We can still learn and grow from it. So setting goals give us direction, give us a sense of accomplishment in terms of rewards, and then also in terms of purpose and everything as well that we just shared. And then also it allows us to learn and grow. So affirmations for goals. So when we're starting to look at goals, it's good for us to have affirmations, something to think about in order to strengthen the reason and the why in terms of setting those goals. And there's many different affirmations out there. Find what works for you. If you know any, drop them in the comments box. I would love to share your wisdom too. But for me, these are some of the affirmations that I keep in mind. First of all is, our potential is not stolen by aiming too high and missing. It is stolen by aiming too low and hitting. So many people don't reach their full potential because they aim too low and they hit. Their goals aren't big enough. They're not aiming for something that is high and missing. They're aiming too low and hitting. So that's something I always keep in mind when I'm looking at my goals. Is this goal big enough? Is this something I want to strive for? And I've left that blank. I don't know who said that. That's not my word. It's an affirmation that I've heard in the past. I paraphrased it a little bit, but I'm not taking credit for that. This leads me on to the second affirmation, which is from Sadhguru, who says, we should aim for blissful failure rather than constipated success. So a different spin on the same purpose is, we should blissfully fail, be happy and joyful in setting out to achieve things and failing, rather than being miserable with constipated success, simple things and simple progress on a day-to-day basis. The third one I keep in mind is that not every goal we set is meant to be achieved. And we've just shared there that goals are there to give us a direction. And it's fine for those goals to change when we're on that journey, but just setting those milestones will get us moving and get us going in the direction that we want to help us learn and grow. And then finally, a one from Les Brown that says, shoot for the moon, and even if we miss, we will land amongst the stars. So pretty powerful, all in the essence of aiming big, trying to shoot for the stars, shoot for the moon and landing amongst the stars. So the whole purpose is not to have small goals, but to make our goals stretched. So Adrian is saying the one he keeps in mind is, if it doesn't scare you, it isn't big enough. I think that's one of Tony Robbins, but it's a wonderful one to keep in mind as well. If it doesn't scare you, it isn't big enough. And he's put author unknown. Excellent. Thank you. Anybody else want to share affirmations that they keep in mind when they're looking at goals? Please feel free to share away. I'm going to slow down for a second. I realize I've been going very fast, but the energy is fantastic. The engagement, the wins that we've been sharing has been really, really wonderful. So thank you, everybody who's sharing, who's contributing. Is there anything that you remind yourself? So when I'm talking about affirmations here, is anything that you say to yourself, any quotes that you remember for you to set out and achieve your goals? Have you heard some of these before, or some of these affirmations, ones that really pull you towards achieving your goals? But it really helps. It helps strengthen that why of why we should set goals. Because as I mentioned at the beginning, not everybody sets goals. Okay, so there's some affirmations. So why do we struggle? Why is it when we set a goal or we don't set a goal, or we've got that fear, that failure, why do we struggle to achieve in life? So there's a few reasons. First of all, we might set unrealistic goals. So if we set unrealistic goals, when we don't achieve them, we're not going to get that sense of accomplishment. We're not going to get that reward, and we're going to give up. We're going to give up easily if the goal is too unrealistic. Second of all, instant gratification and impatience. It is one of the biggest goal achieving killers of our time right now in modern society. We want things fast. And if we don't see results, if we don't get rewards fast, then we give up because it's not worth pursuing. When we have to realize that the best things in life come from hard work, consistency. It's like you think of your goal as the simple goal of going to the gym, working out, getting a nice body. You're not going to see results in the first day, in the first week, in the first month. You're not going to even understand when that progress is coming until you start to feel healthier. And then one day you just realize, you've got a nice body, you've worked out, you've put in the consistency. But when it comes to fitness and health, there's no quick route to getting fit and healthy. You have to put in the hard work, you have to be consistent, and you have to remove that instant gratification and that impatience. That is one thing that is killing people from achieving meaningful goals in our day and age. So instant gratification is one reason we struggle. The third is that we have a lack of confidence or self-esteem. Maybe we have dreams, we have wishes, but we don't want to put it on paper, we don't want to take action because we don't feel like we're good enough to achieve it. So let me know if any of these are resonating with you. If you have any other reasons, why do you struggle to achieve your goals? What is it that you're setting? What is it that you want to achieve? And why do you struggle? So lack of self-esteem or confidence. Fourth, fear. Fear is one of the biggest reasons why we struggle, whether that's fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, or any other fear. If we're feeling the fear rather than the passion, we're going to struggle. We're not going to take that action. We're not going to be consistent, and we're not going to pull ourselves towards our goals. And then finally, no passion. If we don't have passion, we are not going to get anywhere. If we really want to succeed, if we really want to achieve our goals, we've got to be fueled by passion. Passion is the fuel to success. It's one of the things that I've realized recently. I do a lot of work. I've been working over the past couple of weeks, 16-hour days plus 7 days a week, but it doesn't feel like work. I don't feel stressed because I'm coming from a place of passion and I love what I do. And that fuel, that passion gets me going. It makes me do more. It helps me turn up. It helps me put in that consistency, and it really helps me work. So if we're struggling to achieve goals, it will be because of one of these 5 reasons. So Adele is saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I love that one by Wayne Gretzky. That's absolutely amazing, Adele. Thank you for sharing that. So we miss 100% of the shots you take. Adele is saying mindset challenges. That's good. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so moving on. So how do we start to set goals? Now, everybody's heard of or you may or may not, I'm not going to make assumptions, but many of you may have heard of the SMART framework. So in order for us to achieve a goal, we need to make it SMART. Now, if you're tuned in and you've heard this before, bear with me because I'm going to share something that is very important with regards to the SMART framework and why just using this is very, very limited, and how we need to extend this and apply this in a very different way if we want to achieve the goals that we set. So for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to briefly skim over the SMART framework, which means we have to make our goal. It's an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, result, realistic, and time bound. So that's SMART. And if we were to work through each one, specific means basically, in a nutshell, is our goal clear? Do we have a clear understanding of what the goal is, how we maybe get there, and who's going to be involved in it? So is the goal specific? Is it clear to us? The second is, how will we know once this goal has been achieved? What's the measurement? What's the metric? If we're looking to get fit and healthy, or we're looking to lose weight, how many kilograms do we want to lose? What if we're running marathons or we're going running or something like that, what is the time that we want to achieve it in? What is what is a PB that we're aiming for? So what's the metric behind that? How will we know when this goal has been achieved? The third, achievable. So do we understand the path we need to take? Do we understand the route, the direction, where we need to go in order to achieve this goal? Fourth is, do we have the resources? So is it realistic? Do we have the resources? If we want to say, I want to make £1 million in a week, I'm not saying it's not doable, but it's very, very unrealistic. The chance of you making £1 million in a week, depending on where you are in life, is very, very difficult. So it's checking whether or not you have the resources to make the goal happen. Is it realistic? That's in a nutshell. And then fifth is, when is the deadline? So time bound. When is it got to be achieved by? When we set deadlines, we have something to work towards. We put in the time and the work and the pressure. So if with deadlines, even if we work towards last minute, it's still putting that pressure on us to make sure that that goal is reached. And this SMART framework is used everywhere. It's used in coaching very frequently. It's used in businesses to set objectives. So you've probably heard it in different forms, but we can use this with our own goals. It's a good start, but as I mentioned, it is quite limited. So why is the SMART framework limited? And the reason being is it doesn't consider the why. Now, we'll learn later on, and if you've studied some of the work that I've done before or other people that cover this, the why is one of the most important things that are going to pull us towards achieving whatever we're setting out to achieve. But the SMART framework doesn't really pull in the why. And when we start to look at the why, the questions we want to start to ask ourselves is, what is the point in the goal? Why are we setting this goal in the first place? What is the goal going to enable us to do? So when we achieve this goal, what are we going to receive? And what is it going to enable us to do from that point? Third, why is the goal important to us? What is it about this goal that is going to bring in that passion to help us succeed? And then fourth is, whose goal are we setting? And the reason why I asked that question is because sometimes we can pick up goals that other people want for us. Whether that's our parents when we're younger and they want us to go to university, they want us to do this degree, they want us to do that, they want us to work here, they want us to become that. We're picking up other people's goals. So it doesn't factor in that neither. It might be, something that your company wants you to do, your boss wants you to do. It could be something your partner has inspired you to do. But whose goal is it that we're actually setting? Is this something we really want? Is it something that we're passionate about? So these are some of the questions that I don't feel are answered in the simple SMART structure. And it's being published later this year. One of the books that we've co-authored here with a few other people is, there's lots of authors in this Coach's Casebook. It's coming out next year. The more details are going to be following. But I've written a chapter in that book about how we need to move from SMART goal setting to smarter goal setting. I'm going to briefly cover this today. The chapter covers it in a lot more detail, so keep an eye out for that book coming out later this year. I'm still in 2022 mindset at times, so keep an eye out for that. And I'm also going to be publishing a bonus article in my Revolution Mindset coaching room, so you can read a little bit more about how we can move from smart to smarter. But I'm going to jump to the comments, and then I'm going to share what smarter is all about. So does anybody have any questions so far? Anybody use the SMART framework? Anybody found limitations with the SMART framework? Is this resonating with people? let me know. So I'm going to come back to your comments in just a second. But at the moment, what is the point in the goal? What is the goal going to enable us to do? Why is the goal important? And whose goal are we setting? It forgets the why. So if we were to extend this and make it a smarter framework, we can add in the two essential ingredients that will help us pull ourselves to achieving the goal. Two things that I think are really important for a goal to be achievable. One is exciting. Does my goal hold passion? Does it excite me? When I think about this goal, do I feel excited? Is it pulling my passion? Do I want to set out and achieve it? And then second, is it rewarding? What is the goal going to give me if I achieve this? Is it going to make me feel accomplished? Is it going to give me lots of rewards? Is it going to give me skills that are going to enable me to do something else? What is the reward at the end of that? So we use the same 5 steps: the specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound, but we add in exciting and rewarding, so we start to get that pull towards our goal. And in here, when we dive deeper, we start to consider the why in a lot more detail, so we can define and set goals that are exciting and rewarding for us, that are also specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So that is Smarter, the new Smarter framework that I would like to introduce everybody to. Now, jumping back to the comments before I set the week challenge. So Adrian is saying, I find it to be a good guide. It is a really good starting point, because sometimes when we're thinking about goals, we don't know where to start. We don't know how to set it. We don't know the measurements. Maybe we don't know how to get a clear understanding of what it is and make it specific. But once we've started to build that SMART goal, if we really want to achieve it, we need to build on that passion. We need to build on that reward. We need to remind ourselves the reason why we're setting out that goal in the first place and why we want it. So we move from SMART to SMARTer by adding in excitement and reward. So is the goal exciting? Is it rewarding? Adele is saying it makes it more personal. Add in the E and the R. It does. We can really bring it in and make it more personal by applying that Smarter framework. So that is the Smarter framework, and the challenge this week is to review your goals and make them exciting and rewarding. So on the back of that, if you have a goal set, whether you've gone through the SMART framework or not, you can use and watch the replay so you can start to answer those questions. I've gone over it briefly. We have chapters, we have lessons, we have models on this in the Coaching Minds accreditation, our certification program, that goes into a lot of detail on the SMART framework. I've glossed over it in 10 minutes. So use the SMART framework, extend it to Smarter, and add exciting and rewarding to that to make sure you have that pull and that passion towards your goals. And the purpose of this challenge is because when our goals become easier to achieve when they are exciting and rewarding. Something that is exciting for us, something that we know is going to give us great reward, we're going to put in the work. We're going to show up, as Lorena mentioned at the beginning. One of her big wins this week is showing up when she didn't feel like it for her walks. If the goal is exciting, if the reward is going to be big, if the sense of accomplishment is going to be huge for us, and the feelings that achieving that goal is going to bring bring us really big feelings, then we're going to put in that work. We're going to show up when we don't want to. We're going to be consistent, and we're going to start to make sure that we achieve the goals we're setting out to achieve. So any questions on that? Any thoughts going through this? So just remember, the goals become easier to achieve when they're exciting and rewarding. That's the two essential elements that are missed out of the SMART framework. So the challenge for the week is make your goals exciting, make them rewarding. And if you don't know what that excitement is going to look like, what that reward is going to look like, then you need to do some reflection. You need to think about it, because the stronger the feelings that we get, the stronger the excitement that we get, the more and the stronger the commitment towards that goal. And we want to commit to it in order to achieve it. So in 6 minutes time, we're going to jump into today's workshop within our Coaching Minds Hub. It's at 6 p.m. UK, and we're going to put this into practice. So what we're going to actually do, we're going to get together on Zoom. We're going to review our 2023 goals. We're going to mind hack to assess the impact and practicality. So I'm going to talk you through and work you through a new model in terms of making sure you can get the right goals that you should be setting for this year. We're going to start to understand our priority goals, and then we're going to make them exciting. So that's what we're going to do in the next hour between 6 p.m. UK time and 7 p.m. UK time. And if you want access to this, you can join me in my hub But next week, before I show you the access and how you can get there, I just want to mention that next week live, we're looking at developing a 2020 vision. We're going to move from goals into the importance of having a vision and how we can develop and define a strong, clear vision that's going to pull us even further to achieving the milestones. So remember, we need an overarching vision for our life, and our goals are just milestones on that journey. So if you want to join the workshop at 6 p.m., you can join hub.coachingminds.co.uk. You can find my coaching room in there. Become a revolutioner. If you're tuning in late, what a revolutioner is, it's somebody that's ready to take back control of their life, take back the power, stop handing it to other people, stop handing it to external sources, have that internal revolution so you can succeed in 2023. So I'm going to put the link in the comments box for everybody to access. So it's https, give me a second, hub.coachingminds.co.uk. So anybody who wants to join us, that is the link. You will find my coaching room under the coaching room section of our hub. If you're not in the hub yet, explore, have a look around at everything else we've got going on. There's lots of amazing stuff happening in there, but I look forward to seeing you there so we can start to mind hack your goals and take this little bit of learning to the next level. So any questions before I say we've got a couple of minutes? Any questions for anybody that's tuned in? Any comments that anybody would like to share? And the replay of this is available. So if you tune in late, go back, watch the replay. We've talked about why we should set goals, the struggles that we face when setting goals, how to apply the SMART framework, but extend it to being smarter so we can really have a passion to pull ourselves towards our goals. And we've also celebrated our wins. Would anybody else like to, if you're tuning in late, let us know a win so we can celebrate you as well. We've got 3 minutes before we need to move into our Zoom room and our workshop, or putting it into practice. So any final wins or any questions or any comments anybody would like to leave in today's session? I just want to say thank you, everybody who's tuned in. Thank you to everybody who shared the wins at the beginning, the celebrations. It's absolutely fantastic to see the progress. Remember, we are 10 days in our first month. We should at least be on that journey. We should be putting in the action and the hard work so we are setting ourselves out to achieve this year. And what we're essentially doing here through this Revolution Mindset program every week is setting the foundations. You know, these sessions and the workshops are to force us to stop, reflect, think about what we're doing, be sensible and strategic in what we're doing so we can make progress that is going to help us achieve what we want to achieve this year. So there's a bit of a lag on the comments, but nothing's coming through. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and your wisdom in the comment section. I look forward to connecting with you next week when we look at developing a 2020 vision, and I'll see all of those who want to join us in the practical workshop in 2 minutes time. I'll see you guys there. Have an amazing week. Speak soon.